All right, looking good. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Thursday. Welcome to the stream. Really great to have all of you here. Let's just jump right in. First off, can everybody hear me okay? How does the video look? Is everything clear? Everything look good? How is it going? Lou, good to have you here. Greg, good to have you here. Keenan, good to have you. Rocket Man, good stuff. Hamdi, Apple Pie, Toad, thank you all for tuning in. All right, looking good. All right, good afternoon, everybody. First off, I'm going to say that hopefully my audio is just top notch right now. And hopefully no matter how loud I talk or how soft I talk, the audio just sounds really good. Hopefully this mic is not clipping. Hopefully it's not doing anything crazy, because finally was kind of able to, reinvest back into the channel a little bit. And one of my biggest complaints on all of my videos is, man, your content's really good, but your audio is horrible. So got a new mic. Hopefully it sounds good. Hey, how's it going? Lou? Good stuff. Joyce? Kenya? Good stuff. Awesome. All right. So I always try to start off these streams with a little bit of added value, right? I always want to provide some kind of information, maybe some kind of a teaching point prior to actually starting the stream. And before I can even do that, I do need to get a little bit of business out of the way. So nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. Everything is for educational purposes only. The information on this channel is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind. So please feel free, pause the stream, go through, read this. Let yourselves know that nothing I say is financial advice. It's all for education only. Good stuff. Now, like I was saying, I like to provide some kind of, educational little bit. First red day, first green day is going to be my target for today. I really want to talk about really great first red day, first green day setups. Some of the things that I look for to invalidate those setups, some things that I look for to help to confirm those setups, as well as what I look for on the day itself, and also when the setup is forming that can tell me, hey, this is a really great quality setup. Tomorrow is going to be a good day. All right. Not that I can predict the future. I really wish I could. If I had like a little genie ball, and I was sitting around, I would be like a bajillionaire. But that's not what happens. I don't throw around Monopoly money, not around these parts. Okay. But I can at least look at the market and go, wow, that is a really solid pump day. We can agree. I mean, that is vertical. That's straight up. All right. So that's the first thing that I look for. And I can flip this over. All right. I can flip it over and I can say, that's a really great dump. All right. So I look for a really great pump or a really great dumping day. Then on the following day, typically what I would like to see is the day open, it rise, it breaks the previous day's high, and it closes back down below the opening price. Or if I were to flip this over, it would close back up above the opening price. That's ideal. Now, the only caveat, the only exception to that is going to be this scenario that we've had right here. We have a pump, and then we have an inside day on this Wednesday. That is the only time when I don't necessarily need to see that rise and then that close below the open. All right, if I have a pump and then on the following day I get an inside day and it does close below the open, I will take that as a first red day and an inside day. But the understanding of what an inside day does and how it performs is important, because one of the things that I will invalidate my setups is, let's say that we did have a peak formation above previous day's level. To invalidate these setups, if I had a day that traded up on the following day, so the day that I actually looked to take the trade, if they had traded up and above that level, I would invalidate this trade and I would say no more. All right, they traded above that level. I don't want to trade a first red day after they've made a new high. That's a no for me, okay? So if it's an inside day, totally fine for them to go up above that area. All right, I will say that, because the reason for that is the characteristics of an inside day. If they take the buy side, or whatever you want to call it, they break out on the top side of this inside bar, the idea is that there are stops down below down here. So like this would be inside bar trader stops, right? So that's totally okay. That makes sense. It just makes sense. They went up, they got the breakout traders in the market after a first red day, also an inside day, and then they went back down for the stops down low. 2 thumbs up. All right. So pump day, inside day, or a day that trades above and then closes below the open. We are allowed to come up and retest trapped volume. So like this area here, we can come up and retest. That's totally fine. I want to give you 2 scenarios. These are really the only 2 scenarios that I'm looking for a first red day or a first green day. So you've got a pump day. I'm going to give little day separators here with my super sophisticated drawings. And then you've got previous day's high, in which they open, trade above, and then close below the open. Something like that. All right, scenario 1. You get an end of day consolidation, something like this. And on the following day, the day that you actually intend on trading this pattern, they just immediately break out to the downside and they trade in the short direction. All right. You could have a breakout, pullback, and then continuation depending on, how your session's set up. Lower low, 3 pushes into the high, whatever. The other scenario is you get it breaks down end of day consolidation, and then they break out of that end of day consolidation and they come back up and they retest above previous day's high, some kind of trap volume zone like this. Very common, totally fine. And then maybe you can get your trade from the high of the current day back down. Those are really the only 2 scenarios that I'm looking for after a first red day or a first green day. Okay. And that's to do it kind of with pictures. Some other little things, just real quick. I know I've been talking for 7 minutes and that's just horrendous. But if I have a pump day, right? Something like this. And then this day, the day that I get my first red day, closes more than 50% of that pump. So let's say they close, this is 50% and they close way back down here. I'm not going to necessarily invalidate the setup, but I am going to take into account that I potentially no longer have room for the market to fall through. Whereas if they would have closed up here, I could say, okay, well, at least I've got, X amount of space to get back down to where that pump began. So just a little bit of information leading us into today's conversation, because there was a lot of first red days yesterday and a first green day on a few pairs. I really wanted to just kind of start off the stream with that tidbit of information. All right, so I really hope you all are having a good day. Let's get into this watch list. If you don't have a paper and pencil, or you don't have a way to get this watch list down, be ready to maybe move some stuff around or take screenshots or take notes on whatever I'm kind of getting over here. As I'm going through, please feel free to ask questions. Of course, I'm always going to answer them as I see them over there on the little chat. If you haven't already, I'm going to try and keep this to a minimum. I know that I say it a lot during the streams, but I really do just try to get into the algorithm the best that I can. I do work really hard on these streams and on these videos, so getting my channel out there and having it seen by the world, of course, that's my goal. There's no secret there. So if you don't mind, please, before I get started, flick your mouse over or your finger and hit that like button on the stream. It will help me out significantly. It helps the videos get into the algorithm, and then maybe throw up a little comment in the chat down below. All right, let's jump in. I'm going to start off on the US Swiss, because this is a pair that I don't normally trade. But wow, right? I mean, it has just been trading really, really well. And, I've liked this pair in the past, and let me tell you why. The risk to reward on these pairs, if you get an actual good trade setup like this, low of week, low of month, obviously a dump. We've been dumping. The risk to reward on these trades is insane, because you can have a 1.5 a 1.7, a two pip stop loss, and then still search for 50, 40, 30 pips. So, you know, obviously a 2 pip stop would look something like that. And on a 1 minute chart, not unusual. And then if you were to take 25 pips, I'll just be conservative and say 25. That is still a 1 to 12 risk to reward. It's insane. Okay. So if you get a really good setup on one of these pairs, I really do enjoy trading them because the risk to reward, like I said. So yesterday was a first green day on this pair, kind of on the flip side of a lot of the other pairs. We've been dumping. I know that the dump day wasn't on this day, the day immediately prior, but obviously we have been dumping for quite some time. We had a dump, not a dump, but broke down over here on Tuesday, and then it actually failed on the following day within this week itself. So we had a day they broke down underneath a level, came back up. This is a first green day. They had a break-in structure to the upside over yonder, right here. Click. There we go. And closed above the open. So that pattern that we just talked about. And then this was an inside day, which means that they are allowed to retest underneath that zone, that little area right there, right? So they broke out, breakout failed, and then immediately they went into the little parabolic pattern, something like this. And I was watching it this morning just go absolutely vertical. This was like a little ascending triangle kind of thing. And it exploded. There was an opportunity to get back in. There's a 1, 2, 3, and then it exploded some more. Did not partake, but this was, if you were in this, and I know that I think some of the people were, this was a fantastic opportunity. All right, so that was that. Cool. That happened. This was day 1, 3-day cycle. We're looking at a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday template. This was the opening range for the week right here. Something like that. Day 1, 3-day cycle. Tomorrow will be day 2. Take a look at the levels of rise from the low of the current week. Boom. Get it up there. Was that 114? So I think 150 would be the next level to look at, right? So not quite up there. We'll look at 75. All right, so I'm not going to look at that. Let's just look at end of day consolidation. I'll throw that up there on the screen. Get this right here. And this was, no, the last swing low that was really formed was down there. So this is my end of day consolidation. And I'm going to, I always do, if the gap is this wide, I will throw up a smaller consolidation within the consolidation, something like this. Okay. Just so I have a good reference of what's happened on the following day. Aren't Fridays day 3, Antonio? Absolutely. So I'm going to actually, you're right. I do apologize. There we go. 3-day cycle. So this is day 2 of the 3-day cycle. Day 3, I don't really refer to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as 1, 2, and 3. I just refer to it as Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for simplicity's sake. It removes the amount of 1, 2, 3s in my analysis. All right, day 1, day 2, day 3 breakouts, day 1, day 2, day 3 of the 3-day cycle, and then you have day 1, day 2, day 3 of the week. I've removed that. I call it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I also, instead of saying day 1, day 2, day 3 of breakouts, I just call it 3 days, previous days breakouts. That way it removes a little bit of confusion. Let's see. All right. Market structure identified. 3-day cycle identified. Opening range. Breakout failed at the low of the current week, and we've exploded out. Okay. We'll take this little fancy feller there. Huh. That's weird. One full expansion of the range pretty much to the pip. Cool. So we've got that up there just in case. I'm going to put this into day 2. US dollar CAD. Yeah, 200 likes. I don't know if I said this earlier in the stream. I've got it running across the bottom here or up in the tag comments, but 200 likes on this stream. And I am going to, within the stream itself, the moment we hit 200, I'm going to scroll down through the comments and I will randomly select 2 people for 2 weeks of free mentorship. Their weekly programs. If you don't win and you still want to participate, just head over to Discord. The link's in the description. You can go over there and please contact me directly about those programs. Anyway, so moving on. That's all I'll say about that, and we'll get back to actually looking at trading. I just looked over and saw the comment over there, so I figured I'd speak on it real quick and give myself a little plug. All right, so we had a break-in structure on the day itself right here. Looking good. Oh, why is that so small? Y'all are not going to be able to see that at all. So, big push down, breaking structure to the downside. Oh, no, I lied to myself. Nobody corrected me in the last 30 seconds. That's insane. Just kidding, of course. All right, so we broke down, and then we actually broke higher. So this is a break-in structure now to the upside. We have volume trap now at the low of the current week. And we'll look at the opening range, the overall. So we have peak formation high at the high of the week, day 1, 3-day cycle, day 2, day 3. Now we have day 3 turned into day 1 at the low of the week. Day 1, 3-day cycle. Tomorrow will be day 2, 3-day cycle, D2, 3, DC. And I want to make sure that I get my opening range up there. Tuesday, looking good. Let's see here. Get that up there. I've made the box a little bit lighter, so it's a little bit easier to see my chart. I didn't like how it was set up before. Okay, so this one, they traded down first, and now they've traded up. Who can tell me what kind of day US dollar CAD is? In the chat, everybody throw up what signal day I'm about to let you all know that it is. Okay, so first off, it was a failed breakout, right? The difference between false break and failed breakout, but day 2, 3-day cycle, good. Not necessarily day 0, no. So we had a breakout fail at the low of the current week. The day opened right here. Traded down, traded up, and has closed now. All right, so all of you saying first green day, good stuff, all right? We had a dump. We've actually had really 2 days of dump. And then we have a day that's closed back up above the open. All right, so first green day. If you said first green day, pat yourself on the back. Day 2, 3-day cycle tomorrow. Friday. So the big thing with Friday is where's the volume trapped? Who is still in profit? Let's take a look at what in the world has been going on with this pair. Overall, it looks like it's been coming down for a while. Had a big spike up, retested that low. Over the course of this whole week, they've came down a few times, you know. Take a look at this. All right, let's take a look at market structure. And I've identified this as a high. And I've identified... That is rough. It's all the way down there. Low's all the way down there, okay? And I'm going to remove this right here. So smaller structure within structure, though. I'm going to throw this up there. This will be my end-of-day consolidation. Something like that. Just to help me frame the day and get a little reference. Remember, what are the 2 examples? Wick versus volume above level. Yep, okay, there you go. So the 2 examples of first green day that I'm allowed to see, either they break out, retest trap volume, move back up, or maybe they come back down here, they fiddle about, and then they immediately just break out, pull back, and continue. Only 2 versions of, of the first green day that I want to see. Also, after this break-in structure, we've now started to break down, so maybe this could be, you know, first push down. Maybe this is like a 1, right? And then we've got 2 and 3. Maybe we'll retest the little trap volume throughout the day and get a big move back up. Now, if it were to come from here and come all the way down here and go below this level, I will know that, hey, this trade's invalidated, and I could probably just ignore it, okay? Oh, let me see. Opening range. First push out was right here. This was actually the first push out. Okay, so let me throw some other levels up in here. Maybe I'm missing something. We're at the low of the month. We actually had a breakout fail in the last week at the low of the month, and we've came back up once, twice, 3 times back down to the low of the month. So this could have been a break in structure, failed breakout at the low of the current month. Maybe we're going to go back up. I don't know. But I do like this analysis at least, right? Just of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll just zoom in a bit and make it less complicated. So I'm going to get this into the first green day category. I'm going to stop running my mouth, and I'm going to continue. What is trap volume exactly? Is it the price above? So trap volume, they have a few different ways of doing it. They can do it below levels or above. Just, if I ever say below, just assume that it's above as well, okay? They go below a level. Maybe you get 3 pushes. There's people trading down into an extreme, such as the previous month, previous level. And then once they come back up above that area, trap volume, anybody trading short down here into an extreme is stuck. All right. I use failed breakout levels, something like that. Another way that I identify trap volume is trying to identify higher time frame wicks before they actually complete. So like on the 4-hour chart, or even on the 15-minute chart, the 1-hour chart, this behavior is fractal. It can happen on any time frame, and it'll appear differently. So let's say that we have a candle open, something like this. Ooh, candle open. Yeah, there we go. And then price starts to come down, and it comes down once, comes down twice, comes down 3 times, and then maybe you'll get like an engulfment, and then right before, maybe like right before or maybe right after. So like the next candle's about to open. Maybe this is a 15-minute bar, and we've been coming down, and then we came back up. And then just before that next 15-minute bar opens, we are right under that candle open. Or even, maybe it'll even do something like this. You've just identified trap traders. And this can occur on the 1 hour. A lot of times this will happen at session openings. So like 8 o'clock will open, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And you'll get a little 3 push pattern. Or maybe 5 a.m. A new 4-hour candle will open. And over the course of a few hours, this pattern will occur. Hamdi, holy cow. I haven't had one of those in a hot minute. Thank you so much. You do not realize how much that means to me. Money is not easy to come by these days. And to see somebody just donate it like that, I really do appreciate it. All right, so getting back to this, that's what I'm talking about as far as trap volume. Looking good, looking good. Man, I really do appreciate that, Hamdi. That means the world to me. All right, let's see here. Pound yen. This pair today was just, it was ruthless, right? This channel was ruthless. And then I really didn't even know what I was really looking for. I had this break in structure marked over here, and I had said this morning to everybody that I was kind of just curious to see how this would play out, whether it would capitulate, or I was kind of curious just to see like if it would flip around or not. What is this thing doing? Is it dying? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so let's take a look at the overall structure in the picture here. I'm going to delete what I already had. We did break lower, so at the very minimum, I'm going to say this was day 1 3-day cycle. 3 days, 3DC. We'll get the. Man, what the heck? We'll get the day 2 up here of the 3-day cycle. Based off of this breakout of the low of the week at the previous day's low has now failed. I'm going to identify real quick that we have not taken out this level. And I like to just, I do this very sarcastically, by the way. I know what it means, so therefore it works for me. I just put some question marks there. That lets me know, hey, there's a level that's just kind of hovering above another level, and what's going on with that? Why is that? Why are they doing that? It just makes me aware of it. So I don't go into something blind thinking that they've completed every motion of the ocean and it's ready to do what it's going to do. And then it doesn't, and I'm not surprised as to why. All right, let's take a look at Monday's range. Was looking like this. All right, so Monday happened, and then Tuesday did not break out. We've got 1, 2, so I'm going to write 1 OR on here. That just means 1 push out of the opening range. We've had 2 attempts, so 2 OR. On the day itself, we do not have a first green day. No major red news on Friday trade. The setup, as usual, nice. All right, so we've got 1, 2. Will there be a third? We had day 1 yesterday. Day 1 again today. Man, if I'm being completely honest with you all, I really don't like this pair. It seems like it's always in some kind of accumulation pattern with wicks. Even on the 15-minute chart, everywhere I look, this pair is just wicks. But the only reason I even analyze it is really for y'all. Sometimes I'll take a trade on them, but it's just really not. I don't know. It's something about the way that the candles behave on the 1-minute chart too. They're just very back and forth. I don't know. Maybe I'm being weird about it. Never trades. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Day 2, 3-day cycle, breakout failed. I've got some question marks down here. 2 pushes out of the opening range. Are we going to get a third? That could be the trade for everybody who's kind of wondering. 2 pushes out of the opening range on coming into a Friday, and we're hovering above a level. That could lead to a parabolic trade. My only concern with that is I want to be aware of this for sure. All right. We did make a higher high. Low, high, lower low, higher high. Are we going to come down to 3 pushes? Maybe if the move back up. I have no idea. We'll see. All right. 92 people in the stream, 80 likes. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. So about, 120 to go. Get myself a little sip of spicy water here. Late but here. Good to have you here. GJ is not good. Yeah. Gold mostly, but it beats the... It'll come. It'll come. All right. Looking good. Let's move on. I'm going to actually just go straight to... we'll go to the NASDAQ next, because the NASDAQ... What a move today, right? Let's talk about why. And this is why I led this whole conversation with pump, trade up above previous day's high at the high of the current week. We have a little anchor down here for where the move began. And we have a high, we have a low, we have a higher high, which means we have this low, which means they have now broke structure on the day itself over here on this Wednesday. Traded up, traded down, first red day. All right, so we'll label that. I understand this was not analysis for tomorrow, but I just want to give you all a good picture. First red day on the day itself. Remember I said that there's only 2 options that I will look for. End of day consolidation, breakout to the downside, breakout, pullback, continuation, or retest of trap volume up top, continuation. Obviously, this was the first option. On the day itself, something that could have helped you identify this trade was break in structure. Break of structure. We're in a trend now. We're making lower lows. And they had put in a high. Once they made that lower low, that confirmed this is the high up top. All right, so we now have our high formed. And they continued to jab up into there once. Twice. And a third time. And then move back down. All right, and then we'll just look at what time all this started. There's 9:30 right there for the third push up into the high. High of session trade. Absolute meltdown. All right. So that doesn't help us for today, though. Or I guess for tomorrow. But what does help us is that I've been saying this, I think, for a couple streams now. I would have said it probably back on this stream over here. Definitely said it over here on Tuesday. But the breakout trader stops down here at the previous month and previous week. There are people still throwing monopoly money in the air, and they are just hoping and praying that this will just continue to go forever to the upside. Without ever coming back to get them. All right. And I'm not saying that it's going to. I have no idea. But a lot of times it does. All right. So I'm going to draw normal. And I'm going to... Oh, I've already got it. I've got it labeled right there. So I don't even need to put this fancy little box up there. We can put this. We can go back. Let's take a look at the opening range for this week. We had Monday. Tuesday was an inside day. Broke out once, twice. And now we are collapsing. We're actually back down on the other end of that range, down at the bottom. So maybe we'll get a breakout pullback continuation tomorrow on Friday. So both sides of the scenario, right? I'm not saying that it's going to keep going down. I have no clue. Breakout pullback, maybe continuation. Other side of the scenario, because I always like to be aware of both, is that they come down, maybe they consolidate for a while, they break structure to the upside on the day itself, and we get a parabolic move back up towards maybe like, I don't know, this high up here or something like that. Okay, and I know it's like, well, Cameron, it could go up or it could go down. Well, yep, welcome to trading. That's the market, all right? Be aware of both scenarios. If I'm being completely honest, just looking at what's kind of happening, that's more of my scenario right now. I like the fact that I'm shooting for these stops. It makes me feel like I'm on the right side of the trade because I'm against these people right here, the breakout traders. You were the best thing that's happened to me this year. My trading pattern. Oh, wow. The whole reason I made this channel, the whole reason I keep doing this channel, and the whole reason that, I enjoy it so much is for stuff like that. So thank you for that. I'm really glad that you have benefited from it. Okay. Let's see. Looking good. And I can even throw up a little bit of this. No, not that. There we go. Wow. I don't really believe in coincidences, but that lines up with the breakout trader stops almost perfectly. One full expansion of the opening range. All right, let's 3-day cycle. Day 1, day 2. Tomorrow's day 3 in the 3-day cycle. I'll throw that up there. Man, I've been running my mouth a lot this stream. Day 3, 3-day cycle. Coming back down to get these stops, maybe. Signal day, we had our first red day already. So I'm really just going to roll with the day 3. Looking at oil. So it was actually kind of interesting. We had a 3-session setup today. It did what I thought it was going to do. It did come back down and get the floating price action stopped out. So I'm actually going to delete that because it's no longer floating. They just took it out. And we've made another lower low. So let's see here. That means that we put in a high. Really, it's just the previous day's high and low is the high and the low. We've got a low and a high. And coming into this beautiful Friday, looking like a little bit of check mark action. Not check mark, but heartbeat pattern. That heartbeat monitor pattern. Not necessarily day 0, but still definitely want to be aware of where my high and my low is. That's my high. That's my low. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, 3-session setup, remember I said that with these first red days, yesterday was a first red day, this was a break in structure to the downside, they're allowed to come up and retest trap volume. And that's exactly what they did. They came back up, they retested this high right here without breaking it, and then collapsed. All right, so now I can mark up just to be aware of its existence. Not necessarily that it's going to happen or that I'm even going to use it. I just like to be aware that it's there. We got my previous month's high. Yep, previous month's high. Day 1, 3-day cycle. Today was day 2. Tomorrow will be day 3. Take a look at the opening range. What are we doing with the opening range? Is it just kind of sitting on the inside of it? Yeah, it is. So Thursday is now closed back on the inside of the opening range. So again, people are going to yell at me for saying this. It's either going to break out again out of the opening range and do this, or it's going to, the idea is that it's going to now potentially trade back down either to the bottom of the opening range, or we could get a range expansion of this range, coming back down here. This could be just trap volume above a previous month's high for the move back down. Or this is a breakout pullback and we're consolidating for the move up. Okay. Again, just want to be aware of both scenarios and the fact that nothing in trading is 100%. Find the master time. Let's see here. Okay. Day 3. Something like that. I'm taking a pause here because I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure that I didn't miss any signal days or anything like that. We already had our first red day on the day itself. I did not mark my end of day consolidation, so I'll do that right now. I've got a smaller consolidation within a larger one. I've already marked off that high and that low, which is pretty much just the previous day's high and low, but I want to mark off my internal structure here because especially with the pattern that's presented, if this breaks out and they split the range either out to the downside or to the upside, they split it, right? When I say split, I'm talking about this is a range, a high and a low. If they were to split it and layer either underneath or on top, that could turn into a parabolic channel either up or down. Something to look for, right? So if they start to layer on top, they might start presenting something like this for a parabolic channel, or obviously, in the downwards direction. First time, hey, no worries. And my fault, I don't even want to attempt to pronounce your name because I know I'm going to screw it up. But good to have you here, the one that said first time. Let's see here. All right, Euro JPY. I looked at the, oh, wow, okay. So I had marked off this consolidation earlier in the day because I was like, wow, we've just been in consolidation all day long. That's kind of crazy. This has been sideways for 24 hours straight. So it looks like they actually finally broke out of that. And I'm actually going to mark this as a first red day. I'm going to tell you why. Peak formation high. Day 1, 3 day. No. Hey now. I don't know what the heck I'm saying. Good. All right. Figured it out. Took me 30 seconds. We had a breakout. Breakout failed on the following day. Day 1, 3-day cycle over here. Today was day 2. This is a weird pattern that I honestly have not really seen very often, where they've just gone sideways for 24 hours straight and then at the very end of the day broke down. Whatever. But this is a pump. And this is a day now that is closed below the open. So I'm going to roll with first red day on this one. And I'm going to throw up my opening range. Hopefully it fixes it for me. Cool. We've closed back inside of the opening range after consolidating all of that time. So the idea is that maybe we'll get a parabolic move down to the low of the opening range tomorrow. If we're lucky, it'll break out and continue down. I don't know where we're at with. So it looks like we made a lower low down here. And then maybe we came up once, twice, and a third time, and now we're breaking down. That's a possibility. Sounds good to me. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna roll with that, and we'll see how it presents tomorrow morning when I come in. I'm liking this as kind of a pump and dump throughout the week kind of pattern as well. Wednesday breakout fails. Thursday, first red day, Friday, hopefully, if we're lucky, parabolic move down. And this even kind of looks like maybe it could be forming a little bit of something like this. I don't know. We'll see. All right, USD JPY. We had a breakout now fail at the low of the month. Of course, this month has not closed, so it's not a confirmed breakout. But let's take a look at what's happened within the week itself. We have the opening range over here, something like that. And we've now broke out on Wednesday, closed on the outside on Wednesday, broke out, pulled back. Now we're continuing. So that means that we have one push out on Wednesday, second push out on Tuesday. I'm sorry, Thursday. Goodness gracious. 1, 2. Are we looking for a third? There's potential for that. Take a look. We've got 1, 2. So we've only got 2 days of breakouts in the market right now. We have day 1, 3-day cycle on Monday, day 2 on Tuesday. Wicks will not restart the cycle. Day 3 on Wednesday. That day 3 turned into a day 1. Thursday turned into a day 2. Tomorrow is day 3, 3-day cycle. It is also Friday. So either parabolic move to continue, you know, if we're consolidating under the second push, maybe we can get a third push. Or if we're already, you know, you come to the session and you've already got that third push and they're doing something like this, maybe a little something like that. It depends on the timing. You know, you've come and they have not made that third push yet. Maybe you're getting that third push. Or maybe, like I said, to reiterate, you've already got the third push. You come into the session, maybe it's New York, and they do a little something like this. Big move down on Friday. All right. Identified a high. This is my last low. This is my consolidation within a consolidation, and I'm just going to call it this level right here because that's a breakout level, and it's relevant. It's pretty close to price. I'm just gonna leave it like that. No signal day. 3-day cycle, day 3. That's all I can do with that. Good stuff. All right. Making sure there's no questions. Making sure there's no questions. In fact, I'm 40 minutes in. I've only got 3 pairs left, really. These last 2 are kind of eh. So I'll stop right here for 30 seconds, and I'll just ask, does anybody have any question? Wow, 107, 101 likes in the stream right now. We've got, 99 to go. I wouldn't be surprised if we could make it. And I'll slow down. Not going to slow down just to get likes in the stream. That'd be ridiculous. But I'll wait a second. Does anybody have any questions as of right now? Anything you can think about that maybe I missed your question earlier on. I'm having problems mastering my timing and entries. Oh, I could definitely help you with that. Jokes. Can we miss gold? I can't stand to look at her. I don't know why. Gold was a beautiful trade today, and I'll show you why here in a second. Are the U.S. templates totally independent? I don't understand what you mean, Joseph. The only reason I talk about the U.S. session so much is because that's the session that I know the most about. Because that's obviously the session that I trade. I've never traded London. I actually traded it one time, and I lost. So there's no point for me. Let's make the stash cash. Yes, the stash cash. The stash of cash, as some people have said. Give me a little chuckle. U.S. pairs. I don't know what you mean, Joseph. I wish I did. I'm trying to understand, but I just don't get it. Maybe asking me after the stream. All right. I just did USD JPY. We're good. We got that up there. We got that where that belongs. Can you also look at correlations between Hey, so here's the thing. I've said this before in past streams. Obviously, not everybody who's here right now has seen my past streams or videos. So I do not look at pair correlations. I don't look at the Dixie and go, okay, well, you know, the dollar's doing this, so I think that's something. Let me tell you, there's enough things to figure out with day 1, day 2, day 3, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days of breakouts, market structure, psychology of myself, psychology of the market, what's the candlesticks doing. That's a lot of decisions to make already. All right. Is there another level that I'm supposed to be looking at? Month, week, day, session, hour? I don't need to add in there, oh, is it correlated to another pair as well? And I say that kind of sarcastically because, at least for me, okay, I'm sure that some people out there could do this. It will confuse me. And it's just another decision that I don't need to make. I can look at this chart and this chart alone and go, that's my high, that's my low. They just broke structure. It's Friday. Where's the volume trapped? Good stuff. I don't need to go, okay, well, but is the Dixie also making sense? Like, that is just going to throw you through a whole loop and make you, it would send me at least into an analysis paralysis. All right, so moving on. Euro USD. Again, another really good mover today. This is the move that I was looking for yesterday. Whatever, it happened on the following day. They finally have left this stack of volume. Let's see here. Day 1, 3-day cycle back on Tuesday, and I'll get my opening range thrown up here so we can see kind of what it looks like. Breakout failed on Tuesday, which means, in my mind, the probability of them revisiting the low of the opening range goes up quite a bit. They made a lower low on the day itself. Hit the low of the opening range. After making a lower low, I'm looking for 3 pushes back into the high. And it broke down over here in the New York session once again. So, also this was a first red day on Tuesday. Now we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, they closed on the outside of the opening range on Wednesday. Then they pulled back into the opening range on Thursday, today, and have now capitulated down. So, breakout, close, pull back, and then obviously the continuation. My brain just absolutely paused for a couple seconds. That was weird. Like lagged. That doesn't help us though as far as 3-day cycle. What's going to happen tomorrow? Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This is a pretty big move down. They dumped it on a Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. What's going to happen on Friday? So we have 1 push out, 2 pushes out. Fairly similar to some of these other charts here. So we've got 1. Well, that stinks. There we go. And 2. So I have 2 pushes out of the opening range. Are we going to get a third? And I think, man, I think that's probably the idea that I'm going to roll with unless I am proven wrong. Dump. End of day consolidation. I am definitely going to be aware of this breakout level because this is where breakout trader stops are, right here. And it is not about being right. It's about making money. So if they present an opportunity to go counter trend long and get these stops, I will take it. But it needs to be a short squeeze setup, which means that lower low, higher high, 3 pushes kind of style of setup. That's the only way I would ever think about counter trending this move. Especially now that I've zoomed out a bit, I'm just going to highlight this entire area. There's breakout trader stops above this high right here because that's the last swing high that was broken. And there's also going to be stops on the previous month's high. I think that was the previous month's high, right? Yeah, previous month's high. Again, they're in profit. They're jumping up and down. They're pretty far away right now. There's no way they're going to come back and get us. All right. Their stops are at break even. They're hoping for the best. Maybe they're even in profit a little bit. They've got their stops up here or something like that. Alrighty then. New Zealand US dollar. That's not one I usually look at, Kindle. My pleasure. Same DNA. Why is stream chopping about? I don't know. I have some of the best connectivity that I've ever had. I'm running at 60 frames per second and 1391 kilobytes per second. It's looking pretty good. If you could only trade 5 pairs, which would it be? So I actually talked to a gentleman about this today, a few people actually, and really I try to tell as many people as I can. The way that I break down my pairs, which ones I look at, I've got 3 constants. Every single day, no matter what, I'm looking at NASDAQ, gold, oil. Every single day. Those are the 3 I look at. Because I would say 80 to 90% of the time, those will provide a setup between those 3. And then out of the other currency pairs that you can see up here on my screen, I will take one of those pairs, one of the currency pairs, and I will add that in. Now, usually by 8:30, 9 o'clock, or coming into 9:30, I will have removed at least 2 to 3 pairs, and I'm only focused in on 2 or 1 or 2. That way my brain can just focus on one thing. All right. Get up here a little bit. That alarmed my dogs. I'm freaked out for a second. Okay, so Euro USD. Are we going to get a third push? Or are we going to break structure to the upside and get a short squeeze from the low of the week back up to maybe get these breakout traders? Or maybe do something really crazy, go back up into the opening range? Or are we going to come back down and get these people down here? 3-day cycle wise, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So today was day 2. Tomorrow will be day 3 of the 3-day cycle as well. Oh, almost screwed that up. 3 DC. There we go. Opening range identified. Market structure identified. The last swing high, the actual major decent swing high, is all the way up here. No, it's not. It's right there. There's a 2-candle pullback, and then they broke that 2-candle pullback down. So that would be my actual swing high. Let's see. Good. I've got everything identified that I need to. All right, pound US dollar. I was really impressed with this pair. They were reaching for this level, and I'm glad to see that they finally came down and got it. Look at this. Breakout traders. It's going to the moon. I'm holding my position. I'm finally going to make it. I'm going to make $1 million. Oh, it's a pullback. Oh, that's okay. It's just a pullback. Okay, here we go. And maybe they sold it. Maybe they didn't. Hopefully, and now they're stopped out. Maybe next time. All right. They come back. They come back and get people. All right. Alrighty then. We'll look at opening range. How many hits out do we have this week? We've got 1 on Tuesday. They actually spiked both sides of the range. So this is the first. Second. And the third coming into the Friday. So we already have 3 pushes out of the opening range coming into Friday. For those of you who don't know, this is a setup that I look for every Friday. It's one that I really like, and I really like to do it around these breakout levels as well, or at the lows and highs of the months, depending on which direction we're going. All right, so with these, what's important to me is, 1, is this going to become just trap volume? Are they going to collapse back down? I have no idea at all. This could go long. Let's just look at the structure and see. Okay, so we had a low right here. That formed a high. So this is going to give me a swing high and a swing low. Everything else right now is kind of on the inside. But this is going to give me EODC. I would need to see a break in structure to the upside in order to take this as a relevant trade. They'd have to break up, give me 3 pushes back down, 15-minute chart. On that last leg of the 15-minute chart down, on the 1-minute chart, I would then need to see them break structure, 3 pushes down on the 1-minute chart, and an engulfment, and that would be my entry. All right. So looking in like that. Who else is in profit right now? Oh, it's an inside week still. We're still inside the previous week's high and low. That's interesting. Okay. All right, 3-day cycle. Do we have any signal days? 1, 2, 3. So we do have 3 days, previous days breakouts in the way, or previous days low being hit. Three days of previous day's low has been hit, so I can now add this into that category. Make sure there's no other signal day. Would have really liked to see a first green day on this Thursday. That would have made me a lot happier. I appreciate you, Bernardo. Gazillionaire dreams. Yes. Yes. There is news as well. This is 2 a.m. my time. So the very beginning of the London session. All right, pound US dollar. Got it up there where it belongs. All right, this is it. We're about to do gold. This is the last, really the last pair. I can look at these real quick. Oh, they closed back inside. So this is actually a day 1 3-day cycle. So this is interesting. NASDAQ is absolutely melting, and this pair is not. When I say the pair, I mean this is the US 30. 2-candle pullback. A very subtle break. Tomorrow is going to be day 2 3-day cycle. At 1, 2, 3 steps out, so we have 3 pushes. Three pushes out of the opening range. Tomorrow will be day 2. Already got that up there. 3 days of breakouts. 3 days previous day's high has been hit without hitting the other side of that range. I know there's more. There's like 4, 3, 4, 5, whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as 3 have been hit, it's on the radar. S&P 500 looks pretty similar to the NASDAQ today. Day 1, day 2. Tomorrow will be day 3. They came back for these gazillionaire traders. Trading the breakouts for 1,000 bajillion pips. Okay, looking like this is probably where the pump began, was down here. So that's potential. We might see some kind of continuation down. Where's the opening range at? Isn't this it right here? All right, so last swing low, last swing high of the session. We had a high and a low, and we can see kind of what they've done tomorrow. I'm not seeing any sort of signal day. This was a first red day. Actually, it wasn't. This wasn't even a signal day over here. So this actually kind of is the first red day. I think I'm just going to roll with putting this in day 3, though. And I'll just take a look at it along with the other indexes. I appreciate you. Shidera? Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I wish I'm a little bit more cultured. My pronunciation's probably terrible. Do apologize. Get myself a little bit of spicy water. Make sure there's no questions. All right, I'm going to roll right into gold now. I see. Yeah. Like I said, I'm very sorry. All right, moving into gold. Day 1, 3-day cycle. And not a first red day. This was an inside day, first red day over here. I don't know. I kind of almost want to call it a first red day because it just, the pump, we've been pumping. I mean, it looks good. But regardless, this is day 1. Tomorrow is day 2, so I'm still looking for that lower high to be formed. It could look maybe something like this. And then I'll be a little conservative and just pump it up just a little bit more like that, so that when they inevitably break out of that trend line, because they love to do that, oh, everybody's going to go long. It's broke out of a trend line. Yeah, just kidding. All right. Not saying that's going to happen, but that's, you know, how trend line traders kind of do things. And we've definitely created a nice little gap here. Something like that. What's my favorite food? Steak. Definitely steak. Either steak or lasagna. Random question, random answers. All right, let's keep going. Day 2, 3-day cycle. We had a high. We had a low. We had a higher high. I'm going to count this as a lower low. I don't even call it a breaking structure to the downside. Maybe we'll see 3 pushes back up. Continuation. Take a look at the opening range over here. This is Monday's high and low. Okay, looking good. Looking good. All right, day 2. Identify market structure real quick. Okay, so this is the last place that there was a 3-candle, 2-candle pullback. And then they came down, they put in a low. So this is the low down here. All right, I'll extend this across like here. Now I have structure within structure though, so I'm going to label that as well. So I have a smaller rectangle within this larger rectangle. So of course I'll mark that off. End of day consolidation. And I think that's what I've got and what I'm happy with right now. I'm aware of all my levels. I don't know why this is not doing what it's supposed to. Ideas. All right, does anybody have anything else for me? Any ideas, any questions about anything that I've gone over? Looking good. I'll say this real quick. I know I say this like every single stream, and you're probably like, man, you've been saying this for like 3 weeks now. I'm still putting it together. All right, this beginner to winner series, it's quite extensive, and I have to think as if I just started trading, and it feels weird to think back to like, what is a trend line? How do you use it? What is it used for? And like trying to get to that level of detail, so that I can start like at the beginning and then progressively moving towards the more advanced topics, the setups and stuff like that. So it's taking me a little bit longer than I expected, but I will be teaching that class live, either all at one time over the course of a Saturday or a Sunday, maybe like 4 or 5 hours worth, or maybe over the course of a few separate Saturdays. Maybe I'll do like 3 weekends, like Saturday, 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 of like beginner, intermediate, advanced, something along those lines, and I'll just break it up into like 2-hour segments. However I do it though, it is in the works. I promise it's going to be good. Is there a trading strategy? Is there a trading strategy I can trade every single day? Hold on, there's something in the way. I can't see what this says. Yeah, this, if you go to my channel and just watch all of my videos, everything I'm teaching here is in my channel. So please go take a look at that, and also join the Discord. And all those people, I'm not going to say they'll help you directly, but just by looking at what everybody's posting, you'll kind of get to start to see the mindset. Understandable, good stuff. Markets are beginner, intermediate, advanced sounds better, so we can digest it. I agree. I said that in my head just now, and then I said it out loud, and it sounds a lot better doing it in 3 segments. All right. We only made it to 117. I say only. Y'all's support is insane. We only have 109 people in here right now, concurrent, all at one time, and 117 in the chat. Y'all are phenomenal. Hamdi, I can't stress it enough or say it enough. You're fantastic. Thank you so much for that donation. Those come far and few between. So to see that just brightens my whole day. I really do appreciate every single last one of you. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Best trading community out there. Everyone is so supportive of one another. and like helpful with one another. So please keep that up. I don't like seeing, toxic comments and all that other stuff. There's already enough of that in the world. We don't need that on my channel or anywhere in my vicinity. So thank you all. You are phenomenal. I'll see you again on next Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then this Saturday, I've got a really great video. It's something that I haven't really done before. I'm taking every single weekly template of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every single scenario that I can possibly find, such as like Monday inside day, Tuesday does this, Wednesday does this, broken down like that. Like, okay, Monday opening range, Tuesday inside day, what did Wednesday do? Monday opening range, Tuesday was a breakout, what did Wednesday do? And then like breaking it down in the charts and showing you all what I'm talking about with that one tips and tricks slide. I want to break it down and just a whole bunch of examples and show you all really great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday templates. And then of course I'm going to do another one of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday templates. All right. So all that being said, y'all are phenomenal. I'll see you again here soon. If you're trading tomorrow and you're in the Discord, I'll see you all tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. You'll have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.